What's all this?
Oh, hey Chad. This is Tom Holland. Tom Holland, this is Chad.
Tom Holland? The theologian?
Hi, my name is Thomas Stanley Holland. You may know me from such films as Chaos Walking, Onward, and The Lost City of Z.
Hey, I have seen those movies. Wait a minute. Is this your way of replacing me as a roommate?
Uh, no. No.
Spider-Man, gonna review the Spider-Man. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care about the MCU anymore. I was the right age for it at its peak. I witnessed its epic fall from grace, and even though I appreciated a few of the movies that they've come out with, I'm just not invested in this franchise anymore, save for a few characters that I would like to see more of. And one of those characters is Tom Holland's Spider-Man. His movies haven't been perfect, and for a little while he was kind of living in the shadow of bigger superheroes, but dang, he is such a good Spider-Man. And his character arc and the journey that his character has been through has been so cool and fun to witness. I remember when it was such a big deal that Spider-Man was showing up in Civil War, and I remember my experience watching each of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies in theaters. These days, I think I kind of prefer the overall style and comic book tone of the Sam Raimi trilogy, but I'd be lying if I said that Tom Holland wasn't a great Spider-Man, and that his character story is probably one of the most investing out of all the iterations. And more than any Spider-Man movie that has come out in the past 20 or so years, this one feels like it's kind of going back to that first movie in terms of lower street level stakes and a comic book feel. There's no multiverse stuff, there's other Marvel characters that show up, but it's not some huge crossover event. It's just a fun and cool Spidey story that focuses on characters and drama and emotion. During the first half hour-ish of the movie, I was reminded of just how much I love this superhero. There's a montage of him fighting these crazy villains, making quips, and saving people, but also living in an apartment alone and being a super awkward teenager. I had a big smile on my face because that's exactly what I want to see in a Spider-Man movie, you know? A big part of what makes this stand out, even among the other Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, is that it just looks really nice. In terms of visuals, the other MCU Spider-Man movies are fine and stuff, like they get the job done. But with this, they actually shot most of it on location and did a lot of stunts practically. I think that really pays off because this one feels like it has more weight to it. When Spider-Man swings on a web, it's actually really exciting to watch. The fight scenes are just cooler and well choreographed. They make New York City actually feel like it has a personality to it. I really liked when they got creative with some of the visuals, like the shots of Peter's eyes under the mask or the dream sequence partway through. I kind of wish that they had done that a little more because it did a good job of showing all the weirdness he was going through in an interesting way. I think it's great that they're finally letting some Marvel movies have at least some voice and unique visual presentation. One of my favorite components of this movie is Peter's powers changing and stuff. There's a scene when he wakes up covered in webs and he starts shooting his webs out of his wrist like Tobey Maguire and his pupils get really big. I really liked how strange and almost body horror-y it was, and I think it was good for showing how him as a person was changing and reacting to all this stress and trauma. Unfortunately, there's quite a lot of plot lines going on, and I don't think they really had time to flesh this aspect out. It just kind of happens at the beginning, then he builds a device to make it go away, and then at the end he accepts that these abilities are good and then become super powerful. The way they handled it wasn't the greatest, and I really wish that they had done more with it. A fear of mine going into this, based on the trailer, was that they would have way too many characters showing up and it would become some kind of cameo fest. Well, I'm happy to report that that's not really an issue at all. This movie is a good reminder of why, the idea of a shared universe of superheroes is so fun. More than ever, this universe feels lived in, like it has its own history. A messy and inconsistent history, yes, but a history. And when Spider-Man interacts with Bruce Banner or Yelena from Thunderbolts, it actually makes a lot of sense in the plot. And rather than making me cringe, I thought it was just fun. If you read classic Spider-Man comics, it's the same thing. Other superheroes superheroes will just randomly show up because like they live in the city and it's just cool. Also, Yelena's scene was really funny. I actually really like her character now that Thunderbolts exists. I kind of hope we see more of her. Oh, Doomsday. Oh, and how could I forget one of the best characters to cross over into this movie? The Punisher. I know of the Punisher and stuff, but I've never seen a single episode of his show or that Disney Plus special thing or whatever, or even any of those Netflix shows that are apparently part of the MCU now. So this was my very first introduction to this iteration of the character, and you know what? I'm sold. I love how him and Spider-Man apparently have like a history of butting heads that we don't really know the details of, and their constant bickering and getting in each other's way is really fun. And I didn't expect this, but by the end, their relationship was super endearing. Punisher has his own little arc where he becomes able to care about someone again, and they managed to make it effective without having it take over the whole story or me having any prior knowledge of the character. What really works in this is the emotional stuff. Dealing with hard things in life on top of being Spider-Man is core to this character, and I gotta tell you, it actually hurt to see Ned and MJ having like a great life without Peter. There's a lot of scenes in here that just cut, you know? They hit you. And there's a lot of scenes that are just so gosh darn sweet and they put a smile on your face. This movie is a heartwarmer, alright, but not like, yay, everything worked out perfectly. It's more like, despite all the weirdness and the difficult things, there's reason to continue. My biggest issue with this movie is that it doesn't quite stick the landing for me. It becomes a little bit too much wrapped up in all the plot lines happening, of which there are probably too much of, and it sort of loses sight of the reason that I'm invested in this movie. Not that the climax was poorly done or anything, I just wish there was a little something more, I don't know. Maybe it's because I was expecting more of a big, definitive ending to the character, but I don't think I loved the end. I don't know, I definitely have to watch this again at some point. Overall, I really liked this movie. Not to sound pretentious or anything, but I think it really captures like the essence of Spider-Man, you know? I'm really glad that this exists and that we get to see more of this character, even if I don't care about the MCU as a whole these days. I'm gonna give this a strong 7 out of 10. I think that it could go up on rewatch if the ending works for me a bit more, but for now, I'd say that's fair. So tell me in the comments what you thought of Spider-Man Brand New Day if you've seen it. Was I right? Was I wrong? Is there anything that you would push back or disagree with that I said? How can I improve as a reviewer, as a maker of videos? And lastly, what's the best Spider-Man movie? It's Into the Spider-Verse. Bye!
Well, it's time for me to go now.
But Tom, we were just becoming such good friends. I thought we were going to be roommates.
I have other matters to attend to.